Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about something that honestly when you first hear about it just sounds like a massive, wild conspiracy theory, but I've been kind of talking or barking up this tree for a few videos now, just kind of, discussing the current happenings in regards to age verification, online ID verification laws, things like that. Obviously, it's been a very hot button topic recently. We've had things like the recent changes that were made to comply with the UK's Online Safety Act bill, where basically the nation of the United Kingdom has decided that online social media websites and platforms have to start more stringently verifying IDs and age and whatnot to make sure that children are not visiting or viewing harmful content online. At least that's like the surface reason that they give for why this needs to be done. And I've already covered this in so many videos. I feel like if you've seen one of these videos, you know what I'm talking about. So I don't want to spend too long here in the preamble or whatever of this video kind of going over this. It's very easy to get caught up on what I'm talking about here. And even if you haven't seen anything about it, I'm sure by the end of this video, you'll get what I'm saying. So in this video though, more particularly, we're not even talking about you having to use Twitter by logging in with an ID. This concept is now being dragged into the video game industry as well. Now, obviously, I am a very vocal critic of age online ID verification because I, like many other people, are aware that this really has nothing to do with making children safer. It has nothing to do with making the internet or the world a better place for them. It's about cracking down on everyday law-abiding citizens who are using their right to free speech. They're using the internet to access information that corporations, global governments, especially Western governments, don't want them to see. And ultimately, it's just disruptive. It's disruptive to the capability of the ruling class to dominate people's lives in every way if they have the possibility to be informed, if they have the possibility to instantaneously communicate and speak out with other people. Well, this is now being dragged into the video game industry as well. Now, over the last couple of days, there's been this news story that I feel like probably should have gotten more attention, but it did still get widespread talking, right? So a lot of people have seen this. So there is now a data miner and information that is suggesting that in compliance with the UK's new online safety laws, that the folks over at Rockstar Games are silently preparing a feature for Grand Theft Auto Online that will probably be more widely implemented in GTA 6 next year. But this new feature, if you want to even really call it a feature, of Grand Theft Auto Online, which has apparently been data mined, it's a big rumored upcoming feature. It will apparently come first in GTA 5 Online. It will apparently be region enforced, meaning that since right now the UK are the ones with this law on paper to really like crack down on IDing people online, just for now, I guess, in the UK, this upcoming change will be enforced where in order to play GTA Online, you have to verify your ID in order to make sure that you're an adult, because God forbid if we had children playing video games like GTA Online. I mean, what if they saw a gun? What if they saw violence? Things like that. There's not a mass stabbing problem or anything in the UK either. It's not like that's a huge, massive problem that very obviously isn't tied to Grand Theft Auto Online, but, children shouldn't see things like this. It's horrible. It's disturbing. It actually ruins them for life. As we all know, I mean, I've only been playing Grand Theft Auto since the age of 3. My life has never been worse, actually. In fact, I've been known in my community as a mass murderer and a demon since the age of 3 years old. But this is a change that, a lot of people, oh, well, I don't live in the UK, so what does it really matter? But this is how it starts, right? It starts with, oh, we're only doing it in the UK, we're only doing it on GTA 5, we're just doing it to comply with the law. But the problem with this train of thinking is that here in the United States and in other Western nations as well, there have been very big concentrated efforts to pass legislation like what was recently starting to be enforced over in the United Kingdom. Even in fact, if you've been paying attention, as recently as a couple of days ago, representatives in the United States Congress have been openly calling for laws like what was placed in the UK to be brought here to the United States as well. I mean, here, take a look at this tweet. This came out August 1st from Representative Mary Miller, who is serving the 15th District of Illinois. So children should never have access to adult content online. This is something everyone should agree on, yet many sites refuse to enforce strong age verification. It's time to pass the Screen Act and protect our most innocent. So it's it's not like this is just some thing that is, I guess, limited to the UK. There are very serious attempts to bring this here, to undermine the Constitution even further, to undermine your personal rights, your personal security, your personal privacy even more. And the funniest part about this here, this specific tweet, is obviously everybody agrees, right? Like, kids shouldn't be going online and being badgered and battered by, you know, pornography or disgusting things, right? But the thing is, we've had the internet for, what, 30 years now, at least commercially, like, open to the public, right? And weirdly enough, it worked well most of the time when adults would just be parents, right? Like, when you as a parent would just go in your child's room and enable the parental locks and the safety features on their TV and their computer and their electronics, it's almost like that does something. It's weird how that works. It's almost like every website, everything basically that connects to the internet at this point has parental safe locks in place to make sure your children aren't seeing anything harmful, but I digress. Now, this is the first game where it really starts, right? Grand Theft Auto, because, you know, you gotta protect the children from seeing gunfights and violence and danger and shit like that, whatever. It's almost like we had this feature all this time that Grand Theft Auto has existed. I mean, and I remember this very well as a child. When you went to, say, GameStop, when you were 7 years old with your parents and you saw that copy of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas on the shelf, right? You might have noticed, if you've ever picked up a video game case in your life, a jewel case, if you look down on the bottom right, usually, there's this sticker that says like a big E or an M or a T or something like that, right? Now, this actually was the parental age block of our age, and it worked really well. As in, if you were a child and you brought that up there by yourself, 9 million times out of 10, you were not buying that game because it's against the law. Like, if that person at GameStop just sold some kid an M-rated game without his parental consent or whatever, that is technically against the law. You know, you can't get in trouble for that. So now, obviously, everybody buys everything through digital storefronts. They don't really check. I mean, the check is supposed to be you putting in your debit card and, like, signing up for the terms of service and whatever. But obviously, nobody really gives a fuck about that. It really doesn't do anything to stop anything. So to me, if we're going to make the argument that for video games to be safe and to save children from video games, we have to put IDs into the game, ID checks. You have to put your driver's license in to play fucking Grand Theft Auto online. If we're gonna make that argument, you may as well just shut down digital storefronts. Like that, if we're really gonna make that argument where, oh, well, we can't trust video games to not make our children's minds dangerous, you know, we can't have them just buying games unfettered, then just reopen the GameStops, put all the fucking games back there, make me drive 6 minutes to the store to buy a video game, and prove that I'm an adult there. Okay? Instead of the government coming into the game and making sure, oh, you better put your fucking ID into GTA Online before you access this. You want to go drive your Zentorno around fucking Los Santos and shoot your gun? Have fun with that. We're making sure that you're not a felon, or we're going to be making sure that we log your access to this game, right? Now, once again, this has nothing to do with making anybody safer. All these ID age verification laws are meant to do is to expand the spying apparatus, to expand the monitoring services over your head. It's not enough for them anymore that they get to read all of your emails, listen in on all your phone conversations. It's not enough that anytime you say anything constitutionally protected that they may disagree with, you're put on a watch list. It's not enough to do all of these things. Now they have to also know what video games you're playing, when you're playing them, when you're logging into that service, when you're using your debit card to make a purchase for a fucking item in that video game. Of course, they tax you on that and everything, right? So it has nothing to do with making you safer. It's just more and more and more about infiltrating your personal life, infiltrating your hobbies. That way they can expand the surveillance state on people. And it sounds like insane. People are like, oh, yeah, this is batshit. Why would they do that? Why do they do anything that they do? This is the same question we've been asking for like the last 20 years. Why are they going to pass this Patriot Act bill here in the United States? Oh, they're going to make us safer? Oh, okay. I have to take my shoes off at TSA now to prove I'm not in Al-Qaeda. But meanwhile, they've stopped no actual credible terrorist threats the entire existence, right? Oh, you have to listen to all my phone calls to make sure that I'm not a threat to the president. Oh, but you couldn't stop the presidential candidates from being shot at and nearly killed in the presidential election anyway. Like, none of it actually makes any sense or like works when you look at it, but it's just another step. It's another roadblock. It's another way of just fucking with you, disturbing your daily flow, disturbing disturbing your life in more ways. Because the government is never satisfied unless they can find another way to fuck with you, to extort revenue from you, something like that. It's never enough. You're not allowed to have fun. You're not allowed to have hobbies. And once again, because I know that there's stupid people out there. There are really dumb people out there who just legitimately believe whatever the governments tell them. They believe whatever they're told by people in power. And they think that you're like hurting their feelings or like attacking them for telling them like, I'm trying to look out for you too. It's not just about me. It's not about the fact that I don't want to put my ID into GTA Online because there's no fucking reason for me to have to do that. It's about the fact that nobody should be doing it. Not me, not you, not the guy I've never met who lives in fucking Panama who likes to play the game. It doesn't matter who it is. You shouldn't have to log into a fucking video game, then put in your government ID to prove who you are so that they can log that information. They can log what games you're playing, how often. They can monitor what you're saying in the games better. They can tie what you're saying in your game chats and whatnot to your actual persona directly through that and through all of the account details you give at creation. All this shit, it's all it is. It has nothing to do with making you safer. And I feel like a fucking just a repeating, winding point, but that's the only way that we can actually argue out against this. Because they're doing all of this all at the same time, and I've mentioned this multiple times too in all of these videos, talking about age ID verification and shit. It's all being done at the same time. It's in the same manner that like when I was a kid, right, and I had a fever and I was, you know, being fucking assy with my parents or whatever because of it, right? And they're trying to give you the like little liquid Motrin that tasted way too good, but as a kid you didn't want to take medicine, so like you just didn't want to take it. It's like, okay, Billy, we just gotta rip the band-aid off quick. We get the band-aid off quick, it's over, you know? It's okay, take your shot now, it'll be over quick, you know? It's shit like that. They're trying to push it all through at once, that way all of the people complaining about it, we don't complain about it for 30 years and actually make a good point to you. They get it all done in 3 months and we just repeat ourselves for 3 months, then you're already in the process of just dealing with it, right? Oh, well, it's already done, what can we do now? That's what this is all about. It's about getting the speed bump over with, getting people over the hill, and then they'll accept it. Well, you shouldn't accept this. You should never accept any of this. And if that means for the rest of GTA Online's existence, the player base caves 90% because people decide, fuck it, I'm not putting my ID into the game to play it, then so be it. That's the only way that any effective messaging can actually be brought in ways like this. The only way you're gonna actually make a difference is if you force these corporations to start lobbying the government. Because if Rockstar notices they have, let's say, 1 million players a day, which that's probably not the actual number, but let's just say for the sake of argument, they have 1 million players a day pre-ID verification implementation. And then they notice that after, you know, you have to put your ID in to play the game, they have 30,000 players a day. There will probably be some significant pressure from not only Rockstar, but all these other video game companies, any social media company that you do something like this to, they're gonna start arguing in your favor. They're gonna start fighting in your favor. Because if they don't, they're like, oh fuck, our profits are down 95% ever since this got implemented. Hey, maybe we should lobby the government. Hey, maybe we should bother the fucking government. Because let's be real, the governments, they don't give a fuck. Like, do you think they care that you and I are having this conversation right now? Do you think they give a fuck that two nobodies that they could shut down immediately and silence immediately have something to say about it? No, they don't give a fuck about that. But do they give a fuck about their billionaire buddies that they're out on the islands with, what they have to say when their pockets are getting affected? Yeah, suddenly that's when shit starts getting changed. That's when shit actually starts, you know, getting messed with. You know, you say, hey, I don't want this ID verification. You knock their profits down 90%, which is never gonna happen, by the way. But if you did, that's the only way you make them listen. But that's the problem, is people are not gonna do that, you know? If I had to guess, in the UK, like as this gets rolled out and you have to put your ID in to play GTA, I'll imagine that the vast majority of people will probably comply. They'll probably put their ID in. And this is the most ironic part about the entire thing, right? Is they tell you that you have to comply to make children safer. You have to give up some of your rights. You have to give up some of your civil liberties. You have to give up your right to privacy. You have to give up your rights against a complete government surveillance state because we have to make sure children aren't being harmed online. And this is all coming from the same exact people who are going to the island. These are all coming from the same exact people who have been covering up the biggest child sex trafficking ring that we've ever seen. These are the same people who are covering up Epstein and all of his other buddies. These are the same people who have been time and time again caught involved in all of these sick, wicked, crimes and shit like that. These are the people on the flight logs. These are the people who will go to Parliament and they'll vote for your tax dollars to be spent on military tech going to other countries to blow up children. These are the same people who will give missiles to blow up hospitals or to flatten another village in Ukraine or in Russia or in Africa or in South America. But they want to tell you that they're the ones worried about and concerned about saving children. They're the ones concerned about protecting your kids. Do you see the plot here yet? Do you see the message here yet? When they openly tell you this to your face, that this is what they're gonna do, yeah, we're gonna continue to infringe on your rights. We're gonna continue to erode the Constitution. We're gonna destroy the idea of civil liberty as we basically traffic your children and enjoy that on our private islands, right? We're gonna tell you that the burden of protecting kids is on your rights, is on your civil liberties. And if this is your first time hearing me talk about this, you're probably like, oh, bro, he's worked up like this over GTA Online. No, you fucking idiot. Go and look at any of the other videos. Go and look at the videos talking about any other implementation of this. Because this is only like step 35. You know what I mean? This is only like the upteenth, I guess, implementation of something like this. It's not about, oh, my favorite video game, just that. It's about, oh, I can't use social media without using my ID. And then inevitably it becomes, oh, I can't make a phone call without using my ID. Oh, I can't go to the grocery store and complete a debit transaction without giving them my ID. I can't access the internet without giving them my ID. I can't read Wikipedia without giving them my ID. I can't do anything without giving them my ID. That's what this is about. It's not just about, oh, my video games only. It's about, I don't want to have to give everyone everything, my fucking ID every second of the day. I don't want to have to sit here and constantly, yeah, this is me. Yeah, this is me. This is me right here. I'm the one who said that, Mr. Government. I'm the one who has the opinion you don't agree with, Mr. Government. I'm trying to buy my zucchini at the grocery now, Mr. Government. I'm trying to use the internet to tell my friends that they should look this piece of information up, Mr. Government. That's what it's about. That's what it's actually about. Sure, I disagree with it hitting the video games too. I like video games. Assumedly, you like video games too. But that is the overarching problem. It's not just the, oh, they're gonna do it to my video games. It's they do it to your video games to condition you. They do it to your internet to condition you. That way, later on, when, like I said, they decide, okay, no one's allowed to go to the grocery without an ID anymore. Okay, you can't stop and buy gasoline for your car without an ID anymore. Okay, you can't stop at fucking Sheetz and get a Diet Coke without your ID anymore. Okay, you can't enter the doctor's office without your ID anymore. You can't go to a hospital without your ID anymore. You can't go to the ATM without your debit card and your ID at the same time, and also a facial scan. Actually, sir, you can't turn the engine on in your car and turn it on because you didn't insert your ID into the verification slot to make sure that you're 18 years old to drive this car, sir. Sir, your firearm will no longer fire at the burglar breaking into your home because you didn't let the camera on the side verify your face and give a biometric thumbprint scan before the firearm fired, sir. Actually, no, you're not allowed to take out $500 from this ATM, sir, because you didn't put your ID into it. That's what it's about. It's about what happens in 30 years when, you know, everything you have to do revolves around you having this centralized government ID and you not being able to live, breathe, or do anything without it. Because that's the route we're heading. That's where they actually want you to be. And you think it sounds like a sci-fi movie right now. You think that Optimus sounds like a fucking idiot for saying this right now. But this is the reality that they're marching you to. And they're doing it with your comfort objects first. They're doing it with your hobbies first. Because if they get you comfortable enough doing it with your hobbies, if they get you comfortable enough doing it with this, something that quote unquote doesn't matter, why are we even talking about this? Then when it's time for something to actually matter, and they're doing it, like I said, so you can start your car to go to work in the morning to make sure you're 18, then you're already conditioned. You're like, well, they already do it for everything else. May as well do it now. They want you to submit. That's what it is. And you think that I'm the idiot. You think that I'm the crazy one because I'm trying to tell you this. I don't want you to be chained to the government interface, my friend. I don't want you and what little rights that you still have as an American and as a human being, I don't want those to go away. And if it means that we have to I guess, fucking nuke Rockstar's revenue into the ground, then so be it. You know what I mean? Then so be it. But this, if anything I say actually ever, you know, sticks with anybody who watches me, let it be this. If we actually allow this en masse as a population right now, this massive push to de-anonymize the internet, to ID everything everyone does every time of the day, every transaction, every opinion, every thought you have, every time that you get in your car, every time you leave your house, you will have no more freedom left. You will have nothing left that isn't ran and overseen by the federal government. And if that's a world that you want to live in, then you and I, we yearn for two vastly different worlds. So I honestly I don't even know what else to say at this point, right? I don't even know how else I can effectively make this argument. I feel like I've done it a few times now, right? But mark my words, man, we let this happen. We continue to march on the path that we're on. Don't be surprised when GTA 6 Online comes out if here in the US, even if there is no law on the books to actually enforce ID verification or whatever, don't be surprised if it's just being voluntarily done. Don't be surprised if these companies are just testing your limits here very soon. Don't be surprised, because it's gonna happen. And when it does happen, how you react and how we react, I guess, as a group is gonna determine everything going forward. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel. Follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubTheOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, putting in my ID to say this, and signing out.